G'day guys and gal, Space Marine 2 is hot as hell right now, and after finishing its campaign, I can comfortably say that the game slaps. It's also been enough time in my opinion to make a video explaining the entire lore and story of Space Marine 2, as I know that a lot of people who are new to 40k that have played it would be a bit like, that was sick, but what the hell happened? So I thought, why not go over the entire story in my no-nonsense, quick, clean and concise style, so you don't have to spend an hour or so watching it from someone else when you could just be playing more Space Marine 2. Okay, fine, maybe there'll be a little bit of nonsense, but you know what I mean. Before we get started, I'm so excited to finally unveil something I've been working on for a year, as well as to show you how you could get this 1/6 scale, officially licensed Titus statue sitting behind me. For the past 12 months, I've been working on a new business called Dice Dioramas. I've always wanted to make Warhammer dioramas, but with how much time they take and how busy I am, I could never justify doing it. So I teamed up with Chris from CK Creative, who is the right level of autistic for the job, and it was also fantastic at making dioramas to be able to fulfill the vision. How it works is that if you join one of 6 membership tiers, you will automatically be entered into the monthly diorama giveaway. That's right, we are making a hectic diorama every month, with each diorama capturing a fan favorite moment from the lore and bringing it to life. Our first diorama will be the Lion vs Angron from the Arcs of Omen duel that they had, but we aren't just doing the 1v1, it'll involve the surrounding battle and we'll have over 25 models. The coolest part is that each model will be magnetized to the diorama so you could take them off, use them in gameplay, then put them back on. However, that diorama is still in progress and that will be the giveaway for the hard launch next month. For the soft launch, which goes live today, we'll be giving away the 1/6 Titus statue. It's limited, hand painted, and you cannot get it right now. Like, it becomes available in a few months for everyone else. As a part of our soft launch, we are offering a massive deal. Basically, only the Diamond and Emerald tiers will be available. However, if you sign up to them now, you'll get the following 5 months free. So if you sign up to Diamond, instead of paying $100 every month for 6 months, you'd pay once now and then nothing for the next 5 months after that. The idea is that as this business model is a bit unique and we haven't proven ourselves to you guys yet, anyone that does put their faith in us early and gives us this early support to help us crush some of the fat debt we've incurred, we want to offer those people the best value. Only the people who join during this soft launch can win the Titus statue. There are other benefits such as discount codes to affiliate brands, non-diorama giveaways like models, gamer chairs and so on, as well as a private Discord server. I'll be making a full video on what exactly Diced is in greater detail tomorrow, but if you're ready to rock and roll, then the link is below. Today we'll go over the entire lore and story of Space Marine 2, adding some extra details and context to confusing plot points where needed. Let's get into it. The developers of Space Marine 2 wanted to make their series canon to the overall story, which it wasn't in Space Marine 1. So cleverly, instead of retconning a bunch of shit and pissing people off, they simply altered the timeline slightly to make it slot in. For example, instead of Titus being retconned to not be the captain of the second company, a role that famously belongs to Cato Sicarius, they simply set Space Marine 1 a couple centuries beforehand, making Titus one of Cato's predecessors. After the events of Space Marine 1, where Titus was taken by the Inquisition, he was put into stasis as a punishment for his perceived corruption. The Ultramarines attempted to get him back, but to no avail. However, the Inquisitor who took Titus was violently killed during a mission, which led to his belongings being investigated. They discovered Titus, amongst other Space Marines, and freed them, handing them over to the Death Watch. The Death Watch deemed Titus pure and fit for duty. However, Titus felt ashamed as he believed he had failed in his duty as an Ultramarine, and he also discovered that his records had been mostly expunged from his chapter, so he became a chapterless Black Shield. Titus served well in the Death Watch, becoming a squad leader and was assigned to deliver a virus weapon to Kadaku, an Imperial world that was getting invaded by the Tyranids, the space bugs of death. As the Death Watch was specialists in killing aliens, the mission made sense. Titus's entire squad is separated and killed off due to their ship crash landing, with Titus delivering the virus and activating it, slowing down the Tyranids' invasion. However, soon after this, he duels a Carnifex, which isn't something you guys want to duel, and he gets fucked up pretty bad. However, before he can be finished off, he is saved by his Ultra Buddies who take him to their ship and perform an emergency surgery to turn Titus into a Primaris, which is a new age, slightly upgraded Space Marine. This is the only way to save him, as Primaris bodies can handle more damage. The Ultramarines are shocked that Titus lives, with Marnius, the chapter master of the Ultramarines and second only to Primarch Gilliman, restoring him to chapter with full honors. However, with the role of second company captain already taken, Titus is given the rank of lieutenant, technically a demotion. However, Marnius also doesn't really fill anyone in on who the fuck Titus is, so second company just randomly getting an unknown Primaris lieutenant out of seemingly nowhere, so they're all a bit sus. As it's been 2 centuries since Titus was last with the second company, the vast majority of the company is made up of new Marines who have never served with Titus. So whilst everyone respects Titus's rank and his ability, they are all assholes to him. Titus and his 2 new squad mates, Sergeant Gadriel and Brother Carrion, go back to Kadaku to try stem the Tyranid threat threat and also extract the research for a special project called Aurora, a super weapon the Mechanicus is working on. Sergeant Gadriel is a hot-as-hell dutiful son of Ultramar. He follows orders but also has an extreme zero-tolerance policy for any form of corruption. In saying that, he does enjoy a bit of unconventional tactics. He is also a bit salty at Titus for taking his role as head of the squad. Brother Carrion is a hot-tempered Ultramarine who was actually on Calth when the traitor Wordbearers attacked it 10,000 years ago during the Horus Heresy. He was chosen to join the Primaris program and put into stasis for 10,000 years, recently emerging with the return of Gilliman. As such, he has an extremely deep hatred for all things Chaos. Although all three Ultramarines despise Chaos, only Titus and Carrion have experienced it firsthand. Their initial missions are met with success, helping push back the Tyranids' onslaught by capturing or protecting key areas. They then proceed to extract the Mechanicus Adept who is working on Project Aurora, and while they succeed in doing so, the extraction ship is sabotaged by Chaos and blown up, with the Mechanicus Adept getting murdered. Titus begins to get suspicious over Project Aurora after he comes in contact with a piece of it and it makes him pass out due to it emitting Chaos energies. The squad must then track down the Mechanicus Adept's second in command on the nearby world of Avarax, the last living person who understands Project Aurora, which is revealed to be a super weapon designed to wipe out Chaos and even has the potential to close the Great Rift. The project uses a mix of Imperial tech, Necron tech, and where the issue lays, Chaos tech. The very same artifact that caused all the issues in Space Marine 1 has been recovered and is now being used as the power source for Project Aurora. Titus advocates for its shutdown, but he gets overruled. The situation deteriorates further when the Thousand Sons Legion, a legion of traitor marines who serve Zinch, the chaos god of change and pranks and shit, arrive on Avarax and begin blasting, kicking off a three-way battle. Titus sees the situation has gotten out of control and they need assistance. He and his warriors travel to the Astropathic Temple to try send a psychic message to Chapter Master Manius Calgar. However, during this, Sergeant Gadriel has been growing more and more suspicious of Titus. Here was a random-ass marine who comes out of nowhere, has a ton of baggage, was revealed to be a black shield due to being accused of heresy, had direct exposure to a warp artifact and was apparently unaffected, and who didn't like explaining his past or his shame. So when they reached the choir and request the message be sent, as it was sending, the Astropath began accusing Titus of heresy, claiming that he was trying to lure Calgar to Avarax so he could be ambushed, and that Titus was trying to finish the corrupted work he started 2 centuries ago. Gadriel heard enough and tried to execute Titus for heresy, and during their fight, Brother Carrion shoots the Astropath, revealing her to have been possessed by a Thousand Sons sorcerer called Imara, who was manipulating the Ultramarines. Imara had actually manipulated the entire war against the Tyranids to create the opportunity they needed, but the details of the plan were not entirely clear yet. Brother Carrion not being suspicious of Titus and instead knowing the Astropath was a bit dodgy is revealed by the fact that due to him being on Calth when it was attacked, he recognizes and understands the mark of chaos and signs of corruption, and Titus has displayed zero corruption. As a side note, a second Ultramarine squad also manages to kill the Tyranid Hive Tyrant, which is their leader, around this time. This effectively breaks the Tyranid force on Avarax and removes them as a major threat. The Mechanicus Adept then travels to the final world in the system, called Demirium, and works on Project Aurora. Demirium is a cemetery world as well as a dormant Necron tomb world, so it's all spooky and shit. The Thousand Sons are trying to attack Project Aurora, but are seemingly repelled by it. Titus and friends reach the project, and Titus demands the Mechanicus Adept shut it down. The Adept refuses, saying that they can use it to beat chaos. He then properly activates it, which seemingly works, before Imra then laughs and says, "Just as planned," revealing that he had subtly manipulated the Mechanicus into engaging in Project Aurora, as its activation ends up flooding the world with warp energy and opening up a massive chaos rift in which the forces of Zinch can charge out in great number. Imra then kills the Adept. Titus and his Ultramarine brethren are massively outnumbered, but decide they need to try a final push to destroy the sources of the enemy's power. They do try their best, but they are surrounded and forced into a fucking epic last stand. Ultramarines are falling, the enemy has them outnumbered and outgunned, but then, like Rohan during the siege of Minas Tirith, Manius Calgar arrives with reinforcements and they gangbang the Chaos forces, saving Titus and his company. United, they are able to push back the enemy and reverse the power of each Necron Blackstone obelisk, changing them from generating warp energy to suppressing it. With that sorted, there is a final push to take out the enemy for good. The Ultramarines charge through and are absolutely braining the enemy, with Imra seemingly retreating, but not before sending out a time-slowing blast wave that hits everyone except for our merry band of heroes. In an apparent moment of turbo epicness, Manius Calgar decides time-slowing waves are cringe and he just charges on through, following Imra through a portal. Titus and friends are also reaching the portal just as it closes. The portal leads to Imra's pocket dimension in the warp, where it's revealed that the entire multi-world spanning scheme was all designed to lure Calgar here and kill him. Based basically the most high-effort, complicated assassination attempt in the galaxy. To be fair, taking out Calgar would be huge for Chaos, as Calgar is one of the Imperium's greatest heroes. However, even trapped here, Calgar is hard to kill, with Imra basically throwing Calgar down a well and flooding it with his warriors, but Calgar just keeps killing them all. Titus fights Imra as well as a Lord of Change, wounding Imra and forcing him to also throw Titus down the same well. Titus is able to use his innate resistance to the warp to handle Imra's bullshit hacks, and he finally reaches Calgar, and together they fight through the constant warp bullshit and reach Imra. Calgar, Carrion, and Gadriel fight the Lord of Change, while Titus breaks the source of Imra's power, shredding the Sorcerer and ending the Chaos incursion of Demirium. The plot is thwarted. Titus has earned the trust and respect of his battle brothers, including his captain, who was a massive prick to him all game. Marneus personally gives Titus the laurels of victory, a massive honor, and then instructs him to personally accompany him on a mission. The second company chaplain, a grim-skulled face warrior who is also up Titus's ass most of the game, confronts Titus, saying he has earned the respect of his chapter, but that he will keep an eye on him, and he believes that Titus still may have taint within him. The chaplain then removes his helmet and reveals himself to be Leandros, Titus's old squad mate, who was the one that reported him to the Inquisition and caused all the bullshit Titus had to endure in the first place. Titus then embarks on his mission with Calgar, ending the game. Fortunately, the lore of the game itself is pretty self-contained, with a number of references to the first Space Marine game, so it doesn't require a ton of 40k lore knowledge to appreciate. But I'll answer a few questions that I think some people may now have. The big-ass bird monster at the end of the game is a basic Lord of Change graded demon, of which there are many. They are often used as boss units for Chaos in other games and lore. The tech used on Project Aurora that glows green is Necron tech, one of the other factions in 40k who are known for their obscenely advanced technology and also their hatred of the warp. Speaking of the warp, that is where the final boss fight takes place, and is also the place where Chaos comes from. It's like hell, but it can be drawn upon for power, and is even used for faster than light travel. Imra was an original character for the game and has never shown up before. He had a personal vendetta against Marneus Calgar due to Calgar kicking his ass a few centuries prior. As for why they used the Chaos artifact to try fight Chaos, this is a common theme in Warhammer 40k, where Chaos likes to tempt people into trying to use Chaos to fight Chaos by pretending Chaos is a good tool to use against Chaos. This pretty much always ends poorly. You cannot reliably use fire to fight fire in 40k, except for the few times it actually works out. Looking at you, Eisenhorn. There will more than likely be a DLC for Space Marine 2 that continues the story, so I'm sure I'll have more to say in the future. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then check out Dice Dioramas. The soft launch is live as of right now, so if you want to take advantage of the 5 months free offer as well as to go into the draw to win a 1/6 Titus statue, then link is below. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more Space Marine content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.